we wish to discuss a proposed change to our organizational structure and our organization chart. Specifically, we are at this time proposing a complete and permanent closure of our supports coordination unit within our intellectual disabilities program. What most people commonly know as case management is what these folks do. It is a 9-person unit. Currently, 3 of the positions are vacant. Historically, we've had great difficulty in keeping those positions filled. The turnover is extensive, and we believe that the citizens of Lebanon County would be better served if we would close that unit and if other providers would decide to open their own programs. We would not contract with them. The funding for this comes through reimbursements from the state based on the number of units provided. It happens this way in a number of counties. I'd like to emphasize that we have 5 different case management units in our office. 4 of them are very stable. We've never considered any such move with those 4 units. Some of the people have been there over 20 years in those units. We do not have that level of turnover that we've had. Certainly, the intellectual disability supports coordinators have a huge challenge trying to meet the demands of those positions. We noted that over the years we've had a number of people who started with our agency in those positions and have transferred out into drug and alcohol, into mental health, into other departments, but we don't have a recollection of any employee migrating into that unit. And that told us a lot. And then when we looked historically, just did a review of the employees over a period of years, and the turnover is just staggering. Some folks, many folks, a year or so, and either move on to another department or leave the agency for something else. I always say the most important thing is how do we best serve the community, and I believe getting out of that business and closing that unit would allow private providers to open their own programs, and they even said they would hire the staff that are in our current positions should the commissioners approve this. So there is a spot for folks doing this work. If you would approve this, we would be required to give the state a 90-day notice of the closure, which would also allow current staff to consider their options and look for alternatives to their current employment. We have 2 providers who have expressed a strong interest in providing services in Lebanon County. Again, this would not be a turnover of the program to them, or not a transfer of records or files. They would simply open as a new vendor, a new provider in our county.
And then a contract directly with the state then?
Yeah, that's correct. Yes. So the 2 providers that are interested are Service Access Management, Inc., better known as SAM, Inc., out of Reading, and the other one is CMU, Case Management Unit, out of Dauphin County, out of Harrisburg. Both of those programs are very interested in meeting the needs of the individuals in Lebanon County.
And it's possible that if this is approved and becomes more widely known, that there may be others.
That's true. It's an open market.
Right.
Yes. In fact, any of those 2 providers or any other provider could come in here today and open their own program, even if we decided not to close our unit. It's a free market.
We'll entertain a motion.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it. I have a question.
Sure.
I was just curious, is the caseload for these managers greater than the other 5 departments?
Number of people served, number of people on their caseload. No. Dawn, what is the caseload size?
About 60.
So they do a high caseload.
Right.
But they'd have to see everybody.
No, and I think, between the different departments, there's varying caseload sizes depending on how intense the service is that's being delivered. So.
I also did want to mention that Sara Fuller from our advisory board is here. We met in a special session to discuss this with them. I don't know if, Sarah, if you wanted to add anything or if you had questions.
We had a number of questions that were presented to both SAM and CMU last week, and we got answers to those questions about caseload and who would be the family's first line of contact if there was a problem with case management. We asked questions about what they would require to hire our employees. We asked questions regarding how they support their employees. And the answers we got were pretty good. I mean, they were clearly sensitive to what our concerns were, and they came forth with the answers in less than 24 hours, because I gave the questions to Kevin on Tuesday, and we had answers Wednesday afternoon. So I was impressed with that. I have to say that personally I was taken aback when this information was given to me, because as a family member, I look to the sports coordinator for my first line of contact with any services that I give or that are provided to my family member, and I was concerned about whether or not it would be as good as what I felt Lebanon County services were. But I think it will be. They are endeavoring to make sure that the transition is a smooth one. They are offering employment to our service coordinators should they want it, and that would be the transition link for them, for those families. I still have concerns because change is different, but change can be good. And if we can lower the caseloads, create a more flexible environment for the families and for the supports coordinators, I think the families' needs will be better met by having that more flexible environment. So the board is in favor of moving forward with this. We want good services for our families, and we think that this might be a step in the right direction. Not that we haven't had good services, but our hands have really been tied with the fact that we just can't keep employees. And, some families have 2 or 3 different supports coordinators in a year, and that's hard.
Yes.
So the board in general was very supportive of the change.
Good, thank you. And thank you for your volunteerism and support. Bill?
Yes, Kevin, I know you had indicated you have difficulty keeping folks in this unit. What is the longest term employee that you have? Do you know?
In that unit,
Yeah.
the supervisor in that unit has been there 4.5 years. And the other supervisory position is vacant. After that, there is a sports coordinator in there that is there 3 years, I believe. 3.5 years, and then everyone else is around 1. One of them's a few months. Some of them are a little more than a year, a little less than a year.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Anything else, John?
Yeah, can you give me a sense of how many families we're talking about being affected, and how you will communicate this transition to them?
Yes. We have, because cases open and close, we have somewhere between 500 and 525 cases in our office. Am I right, Dawn?
Actually, last count was 540, but as
Okay.
Kevin said, it changes.
Yeah, it's changes. Our plan is, if the commissioners would approve this, we will send out a letter immediately to every family or consumer. The letter would explain what is happening and what their options are to continue to receive services. We would include a choice form asking them to come, it's a 1-page form, we'd ask them to complete that to notify us of their choice of a new provider. And we will also include, we certainly include the contact information for the two providers who've identified themselves as being ready, willing, and able. And we'll also give them a statewide list of all the providers in the Commonwealth that if they would want to encourage one of them else, another one of them to open up, they could do so. Additionally, we're planning to hold 2 meetings for consumers and family members to explain and answer any questions they might have.
Thank you.
One clarification, if I could, that you will be retaining this component. I mean, it'll still be mental health, early intervention,
Yes.
and so on. So you will have a certain number of supervisors still in place. Leadership
The
is still in
management
place.
staff would remain, yes.
Okay.
Dawn and her staff would remain. Several years ago, the Office of Developmental Programs took a different perspective of the county structure, and they essentially divided the management piece from the case management piece. They no longer call us a county, they call us an administrative entity. Dawn is responsible for managing that administrative entity and all the oversight and waiver management that goes along with that. Then the SCO is the sports coordination unit, which has these case managers in. So there was sort of a de facto subdivision of those duties and responsibilities. But yes, to answer your question, we would be retaining the management functions that we have today.
Thank you. We have a motion second on the floor, and we're moving to accept your proposal for the new direction for case management. All in favor of the motion, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. So moved.
Okay, thank you very much for your
Proceed.
support. We will proceed again in a way that best serves the community and the families that we serve.
Thank you, Kevin.
Sarah, thank you for your comments.